Welcome to XReality Podcast. I'm the host, Dominic Wu, and beside me is our guest, Paige Dansinger. Hi, Paige. Could you share a little bit about your background with us?
Hello, Dominique. It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm Paige Dansinger, and my background I have been in VR since 2015 and 16, right around then, and I absolutely am in love with it. I am the founder of Better World Museum. It was a brick and mortar space downtown Minneapolis for over 5 years. It has also existed in VR since, oh, only in VR since 2020. And also, I am the founder of Horizon Art Museum, an over 35 world experience full of galleries, games, and really fun experiences in Horizon Worlds. And I'm currently the director of the XR Women Museum.
Wow, that's amazing, amazing work. And what's your journey of being where you are today?
My background is in museums. I'm an art historian. I actually, over 20 years ago, I started as a security guard. I worked my way through a master's of art history, worked in registration and public program education, and as a student intern as a curator. I left the museum in about 2012 when I absolutely was in love with creative technology. I dedicated my life to creative tech at that time. I created a iPad drawing game prototype, and with it drew thousands of works from museums as well as like uh, cultural historics and different different um, cultural objects in museums, and and that was a program called Museum Draw. And with that, I that's really where I would say my museum and creative tech career started. I had an opportunity to create some works that were included in an exhibit at the Gutach Splendid Playground exhibit at the Solomon R. Guggenheim in New York, as well as projects with Met Digital Media Lab, where I saw my first VR headset. So, ever since then, I have been hooked.
Wow. As for museums, what types of, for example, how can you fall in love with XR versus the museum? What do you see the connection, or what can you see the power that XR can bring in this area?
Sure. Well, that's such a great question. Thank you for asking. The power of XR for museums is multifold. For one, we can bring together people from all around the world and do interactive, exploratory things that, well, defy gravity or reason or even um, what would be allowed in a brick and mortar museum today. You can jump on the art, you can lick the art, you can create games with it, you can dive into it like a portal. There is no barrier, and one is only limited by their imagination and their willingness to listen to other members in the community and what they wish to do.
Wow. Yeah. So what's, for example, what's the most impressive museum experience that you've experienced or you've created that you find out that this really changed the traditional way of interaction?
In an intentional um initiation to dissolve traditional hierarchies is in museums. I created a white wall template museum inside of Horizon Worlds, and that is the first Better World Museum iteration in Horizon. This white wall template museum is great on its own, but what the impetus is to ask artists in residence to upload the white wall template into their own world and then dismantle it to make a better world. We've had multiple artists that have been part of this project, and they have deleted the walls and changed them into completely their own vision. We at first we had Angel Artist who created a museum for Black women, and it included visual and poems, audio storytelling within this exhibit that she created. Then we had an exhibit called Connection Over Collaboration. Wait, uh, Connection Over Competition, fostering collaboration and learning the different aspects of um, multi-dimensional thinking for neurodiverse members in our community. And this world was created by VJ Franz K. And then we had a world created by Shea Arts that was a world about positive affirmations. And each one of these artists, as they developed their skills in world building, they also developed a narrative that strengthened who they were within themselves and within their community. Each member chose a nonprofit, and we created a donation to create real world impact as well, so that they could see that their actions to make a better world have this ripple effect in and out of virtual worlds.
Wow, that's very meaningful. Yeah, so for example, you keep mentioning like a Horizon World. Why Horizon World? Why not other software? And for example, if let's say, because I'm also working in the education area, and for example, if faculty wanna jump in and create worlds for Horizon, before, when I just I mean, I used Horizon World a couple of times, and when I work for Meta, I jump in just, for work, right? And my question is, I remember there are some, for example, for general public and versus for the people that, have a special access. And right now, I remember at Meta Connect this year, I saw a lot of AI, 2D tools. You can just text prompt to the all those like creations. Let's say if a faculty first time learning this amazing world and wanna create a world, how can this faculty do? Like, yeah.
Oh, such a great question. If a faculty member wanted to learn an AI tool in the Horizon desktop editor,
Mm.
well, it would be extremely low friction. They would have the opportunity to like create a 3D asset, an audio file, an ambient sound, even a skybox. They are even able to, with zero scripting knowledge, ask with a prompt
Mm.
the desktop editor to use TypeScript and implement it in their design.
Mm.
So right away, with zero experience, if you can think it and type it and communicate what you want, you are able to create an entire world. And
Wow.
that can be as low level as create a world Oh, and even create an environment. So you can say, create a cabin on an island and, um, and then make a whole entire experience around that. You're
Wow.
really able to, in a very short amount of time, have rapid results, immediate gratification,
Mm.
and a sense of reward as you're learning.
Wow. And may I ask you what's the qualification to get all the is there any like a secret path to get all those like a software? Because as far as I know, I remember the time when I got the 2D, it's on my PC. I remember it's only PC only right now. Yeah, I need to, apply some, creator stuff and then they brought me in. So for example, if some
Really, like, all you have to do I'm sorry, I think I
yeah,
cut you off. I'm
yeah, no,
sorry.
no, it's nice.
No, it's so simple. Like, you need a Windows computer to use the
Yeah.
desktop editor,
Mm,
and the specs are really low. You do not need, you do not need to use your fancy gaming
mm,
computer that you do Unity on. Oh,
mm,
pretty much any, um, like, Windows computer can handle the specs, and just
mm.
go to, like, Horizon Worlds, Google download Horizon Worlds desktop editor, and it will just do all the work for you. Just click and you're good to go.
Oh, so for example, right now I'm on Meta Horizon and the website. Maybe I can share with you because it's interesting that Meta sometimes only have some special access, and I understand that Horizon. Long time ago, I remember my friend, probably 3 years ago, my friend used um, kind of build a world for me. So, for example, if I click start building, right, and the uh, I'm right now on my Mac. Maybe if you
Oh,
are on your Windows, you can just put your email and then you can start building.
that's correct. It will
Wow.
work on a Mac. And then if you and I don't work for Meta, but I am a partner in the Meta Horizon Creator Program.
Mm,
Um, if you want to expand your learning
mm,
and join a growing creator community, you can see right there,
mm,
it talks about you can join the Meta Horizon creator community,
mm.
and that will um, give you opportunity sometimes for early access or learning new things. So it's an
Oh,
incredible community. I invite you to join it. And this
yeah.
is
Mm.
as you scroll through,
Oh, okay.
I know those faces, and I can
That's
I
great.
can celebrate their stories because we really are a community that helps boost each other. I started as a pre-alpha creator in
Mm.
2019 and have
Wow.
was the founder of Women in Horizon, and so I've been able
Wow.
to really uh, support and
Mm.
kind of, um, nurture and care about the way we've grown, and I'm proud of our community, and
Wow,
the
this is
members in it
mm,
are what makes Horizon so wonderful. Yes, they have amazing tools, but I always feel like you can make something great out of anything, whether
mm,
it's gluing macaroni or putting seashells in a row. How you create something, how you share your story, it can only be amplified by amazing tools like the ones
and
in the desktop.
for example, if the faculty, let's say, create a world in Horizon World, and can students access through phone, through headset, and through desktop?
Yes, and their mobile devices.
Wow. Wow. So, and what types of interaction they can do? For example, like what types of multimedia or what types of functions that you think that people can utilize those?
Well, I mean, well, for instance, right now I'm creating a world. I'm creating working on 2 worlds. I'm working on a world for the competition that Meta has a monthly competition for mobile game design, and I'm really excited about this, world that we're creating. It's it's a mobile reef, um, world where you swipe coral towards the reef, and you have, different challenges to compete in enough time.
Wow.
I'm also creating a world that is well, I'm creating more than one world actually on the side. I'm creating a world that is for remixing. It's a coral reef
Mm.
that will go into the remix worlds options so that I'm inviting anyone in Horizon Worlds to remix and add to this coral reef and to create a community um large. I would love to see hundreds, if not thousands of people remix this coral reef. It's sort of a call for attention and action for Sustainable Development Goal 14, life below water.
Mm. Can you share like your, for example, reef work on the screen? So later on, actually, I want to share your like our podcast to a couple of faculties and see if there's any way that this coral or reef project can a lot of people can participate from the education area. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see. I will just share my screen. From here, you should be seeing. Let me know if you're able to see my creation home right now.
Yes, yes, this is amazing.
Okay, thank you. For the last year, I've been working on Coral Reef Worlds. They are in partnership with Bit Basil from which is coming up in December in Miami for Miami Art Week. And this world is we're just sort of loading it in. Thank you. Right, this is a world, and I started it last night around midnight. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm gonna show you what I was able to create,
Oh, wow.
and
I love
I
to
did
see
not
it.
stay up all night. But this is the Gen AI editor, and we'll go
Mm,
back into this. I'll open that up so that you can see it. So, and I don't have my mouse with me because I changed rooms for better lighting, but I'm gonna go into build to play mode. You can see in builder mode, sort of an outer view of w the way it looks. I can't swoop because I just don't have my mouse with me. It's over in my other work area. But all of these things here in the sea and environment, I generated using AI. The
mm.
textures, however, some of them are AI generated, but most of them I actually drew using Procreate
Oh, wow.
because I'm really into polka dots and stripes and plaids right now this fall. So I'm gonna go into preview mode, and here I am. It's
Oh,
built for mobile where you can see and you can run around. Here's the little social like a mirror and social boards and a couple extra doors to worlds, a bubble shop and choral collective. And then you you see, ooh, beautiful. And you walk sort of through
wow.
and see there's did you hear the music and see the sparkle? That
Mm,
was generated, that scripting using AI. And then
mm.
Then I just ran through here. Now I have music also created using AI, using the platform Udio. And people are able just to like explore. There's also a reef down below that I just made. And so I look around and I made all of this probably before it took like I usually go to bed around 1:30. So in between midnight and 1:30 last night, I made all of this.
Wow, so around like 1
Did
to
the
2 hours?
scripting this morning.
Wow, wow.
That's really low barrier, easy. Oh, and I put that pink polka dot in so that you wouldn't feel like you were falling through the ground.
Hmm. Wow. So are those like reefs? Are they, for example, are they more like imaginary or are they really existing that has the real name? And for example, like is there any, let's say I really love the art. Is there any, for example, like educational elements that, for example, like later on people join and will learn a lot of scientific factual or something?
Not yet in this world, but if you go into Coral Collective, it is, and we can do that really quick. Let's just hop into Coral Collective. Let's go. Look how easy this is all.
Yeah, yeah. Because right now I'm building using Unity, and you know how like the skill level that Unity requires. So I was impressed by how quick you can, and multi-device cross device experience. It takes a very long time to build. And do you see, what do you see the future of Horizon World? Because when I work for Meta, we usually tease like a Horizon World that is like nobody really go there. But I don't know. It's more like
You guys were missing out because Horizon Worlds has always been vibrant. It has always had an incredible community element and activities happening. And even when it was primitive shapes,
Mm,
I was blown away by what
mm.
people created. Now, I'm not only Horizon, I have created Better World Museum in Rec Room as well as Roblox. I also worked in alt space. I was part of a MIT reality hackathon, and our team used alt space back then. So I like everywhere. I I um I really do like, give me tools, I will create.
Wow.
But Horizon Worlds is just, really amazing the way they are always adding more options, tools, and upgrades to this experience.
Wow.
Literally. So we are now in Coral Collective, and Coral Collective is educational.
Mm.
We're going to go into preview mode. And here, it's also fanciful where you see, the waters abstract and really colorful, but as you,
Welcome, explorer.
oh,
I'm
the
Orlet.
the NPCs just need a minute to load. Just wait. There's, like, 10 NPCs in this world, and they all, represent a different coral. Maybe I need to let them load for a second in, like, developer mode. We'll give them a second. Usually Horizon likes about 10 seconds of thinking, and then everything loads in. I can kinda see them getting their feet on, so to say. Um, there we go. See how they're starting to fill in? Just let's give it another second. Um, we'll give it a little reset too. And this world just has all of these areas where as an NPC that represents different coral. And each one of these NPCs is actually right now it's scripted using AI, but I am connecting each one to a LLM script so that it's able just to talk about the coral that they represent. And this is actually a world that with the Bit Basil lunar mission, it will join other artists by oh, I don't mean to publish it. I mean to play um to go to the moon. Oh, we still don't have all the NPCs loaded in. But let's see if anyone is here.
Wow.
I just think it needs another moment and maybe so here there would be a
Cuppy in the Coral Club.
Oh.
Small, cute. Don't underestimate me. I can grow anywhere, even on shipwrecks. But pollution's crowding my space. I'm adaptable, not invincible. Want to plant some color in the cracks? Make a mini coral with max impact. Sometimes the littlest build sparked the biggest change.
so there Kappa, the name of the NPC that represents the cup coral. We can't see him. I don't know why he won't load in. Maybe I need to leave and come back. That's okay. I have a lot open on my computer right now, so even Blender. So I each one sort of embodies this sort of educational voice about the coral, but also leaves a spark to empower you to maybe create something as well. So they're like, oh, there's Corally Noirs here.
Name's Harali Noir, Deep Sea, High Mystery. I'm the OG, ancient, elegant, rare. But deep doesn't mean safe. Warming currents are creeping in. I protect the past. Now I need new stories. Craft something timeless. Drop it into the deep. Echoes last longer underwater.
So here the avatar, the coral, the textures, the script, all generated with AI. We also have some bilingual, um, like
Welcome, Explorer.
down here on the side, we have some bilingual signage um, that sort of inspires people to like upload a 3D coral, join our boot camp. Um, and be a part of the community. So many of our
Welcome, Explorer.
community members that are facing climate impacts uh, uh, are Spanish speaking. So we really want to be inclusive. But each one of these should slowly load in. And I might have to lead and come back, but several other people also learned how to create in this world. So we have some of the first community members who were part of the choral collective that um, like created some of their very first AI generated um, like textures or bringing their drawings in through different through the desktop editor, learning how to use Blender or learning how to use the AI generator through the process of this choral collective. And we even have some community doors. We have one that just joined us, a door to her own
Explorer.
world that she's been creating. So
Wow.
I
So
invite you to add your door.
wow. So for example, like in Horizon World, first, what types of coding skills or what types of actions you can do? For example, like I know for AI generate the prompts. That's amazing. That's very easy to create. But for example, like what action that I can do? What customized action I can do? Yeah.
Oh, well, pretty much anything. I mean, you can literally do anything in that you can script. So you can have player persistent variables, you can have a shop with in-world purchases, you can have um like really a robust, uh, I let's see,
Yeah.
there's scripts here. Most of these scripts actually in here are not tri-mesh. They were before I knew how. So let's see. Oh, wait, I didn't mean to duplicate, but we can um let's see, I have more scripts, except for this one I didn't write. This was a community created script of a community member. So
Mhm.
all of these are probably block scripting, and the build mode you're able to whip out a like wait, that's text. Sorry. Trigger
Mhm.
script boxes are also purple. So you can grab a oh, I don't even see script in here. A script box. I don't even know why. Oh, because I'm in a tri-mesh world. So now all scripts on the desktop are all just handled through Gen AI and making tight script. So I would actually like um if I was in a different world, it would open up the script editor.
Mm.
So right. The, Visual Studio Code.
Mm. And this is all free, right? For example, once you create, and Meta will render everything for you and you can access.
Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that you weren't seeing what I was sharing. Is that correct?
I saw it, the script, right? You are having like a script, yeah, I saw the entire Coral Land.
Okay. Okay, good, good. Alright.
Cool. So
Wonderful.
yeah, so for all the scripts, it's more like a lot of people wrote it, and you can just directly implement if you like. Right?
Well, the old way is scripting, and you can still do this. You can still hop in your VR headset and do block scripting, and it's really simple. It's like Legos. You just drag it over so you can open it up and drag out when the world starts. You can delete that and grab when player enters trigger and put that in, and then scroll through and find an action, and then drag over play sound, play virtual effect, play haptic, change color. And it's literally that easy of building on. So if you create a root word, when player enters trigger play sound, if that's
Oh, yeah, on trigger
your
enter.
root word, right? Or your
Yeah.
root structure, if I'm thinking about linguistics and entomology, I would be
Yeah.
like, okay, that's your root word. When player enters trigger, play sound. Then you would maybe want to add on to it. When player exits trigger, stop sound, right? So
Oh.
that would just be the natural progression. And that would be a really easy thing to teach someone in a very small amount of time who uh, may have never scripted anything. And if they can literally record their voice
Yeah.
and tell a story,
Mm.
then if they can attach that script to a mushroom, to an artwork in a museum,
Mm.
to a flower in a garden, to a tree, to a sculpture, to a anywhere, anything someone makes, then they're sharing their voice. They're telling their story, right?
Wow.
And ultimately, then then that person almost doesn't have to learn anything else, right? If they can put their story to a virtual world and object and share their truth, then they've already learned everything. Now, if you want to build onto that, then you can, like, make the mushroom grow, make the tree rotate, make your story faster, make a haptic and a sparkle, right? And just add on to that. But in the new desktop editor, like, you can just type that in, do, make that sparkle.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow. So pretty much before, for example, like for a developer, my setting, I have to code. But right now, for example, you mentioned that you can drag and drop like a block coding, right? And then right now, what you mentioned is that you don't even need to do that drag and drop thing. You just type on the chat and it will be um, automatically implement for you.
Yes, yes, and it's
Wow.
super exciting. It doesn't always work right away, but that's kind of some of the fun about it, right?
Wow,
Is that you test it out and you say, "Oh, the sparkle worked, but the sound didn't." It said, "Oh, thanks for correcting that." And then it just goes through everything and it corrects it, and
right.
you just watch it and drink your tea a little bit, and it actually teaches you a little bit of patience because truly, I could, like, whip on my headset and quick do that block coding. There's something kind of wonderful about slowing down or speeding up and just having this conversation with AI to resolve it together. It's
Mm.
People think that AI takes the human out of creation, but I'm actually learning valuable communication skills while I work with AI.
Oh, interesting. So, for example, like um, a lot of faculties mention that using AI will reduce students' critical thinking, right? Yeah. So, what do you see? Because you mentioned that through the communication with AI, you actually learn more about how to communicate well. So, can you elaborate this? Yeah.
Of course, Dominique, I find that, well, have you ever worked for somebody who micromanaged you, right? Who told you and looked over your shoulder constantly and told you how to do something better?
Yes, I can tell
It
you, the craziest one is every hour we have a meeting. I was like, wow, this is like
Wow.
me, like I couldn't function well.
Right. It says, "I don't trust you," even though you may have a PhD, a master's, 20 something years or 3 years or, whatever amount of experience within something, right? It says, "I don't trust you." But with AI, it's not like that at all. You don't just belt out what you want.
Mm,
You create a conversation, a communication, a rapport, right? Where you begin to have an understanding of what each other needs. And if you listen better to AI, you can communicate better the next time you want something to function well. So it's constantly raising my critical thinking skills and
interesting.
communication skills,
Mm,
by also working, I may share, "Oh, I'm working on this game design, and I want,
mm,
intervals every 10 seconds that make the player feel a certain way, and can we create personas and names and da 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 da." Okay.
mm,
So it might give me all of that,
mm,
and I might use all of that, but what if I just don't think twice about it? then what story am I telling, right? So ultimately, I'm always having to go back to myself to understand, well, what is it that I want? What is the story that I want to share? And who, what, why, where, right? Only I can really determine those best. Um, and AI can help me do it better, but ultimately I have to think about the story, the communication. Uh,
Mm.
and like my earlier analogy, I can plant the seed, and how much I water it or give it nourishment is up to me. But
Mm.
ultimately, the end result is something I'm going to be pretty happy with. So,
Wow. Wow. So, for example, like you mentioned that you work for like a lot of different worlds, right? And you also mentioned like a digital humanity. What can you elaborate this this concept of like a AI world building and digital humanity?
sure. Well, digital humanities is pretty broad. Do you want to share a little bit more about certain aspect within that?
Yeah, yeah. For example, like you also mentioned AI co-author a world, right? And then right now, for example, you just show us like a NPC, right? Like a more like a AI non-character, like the bots. What do you see, for example, like a human in the future? We have like a digital format, and we live in a more like imaginary world. What do you see these types of like, for example, digital citizenship, and what's the pros and cons that these types of the world that we are living in?
Sure. I think goes back to trust a little bit is that as you create in co-authorship and companionship with AI, you build trust. And when you trust and respect an entity, a human, a neighbor, a community, then what by the most human element ultimately is autonomy and self-determination and creating an opportunities and environment for autonomy and authorship and that self-determination I think is a future that I am not afraid of. I really want to push and be part of. I believe in maybe one would consider me uncanny, but I believe that AI entities within that uh, thinking would even have their own rights. So,
Mhm.
yes. So having not just copyright, but different um like uh rights for the AI entity, artwork, or virtual space or asset. Um, it doesn't even have to be humanoid or thinking
Mm.
to have its own um, respect. Humans didn't do haven't done a great job at respecting, right? Respecting
Oh,
nature, respecting each other, respecting rights, respecting um, human rights very well. And I think that AI actually gives us an opportunity to do better,
yeah.
to learn a little. If we don't do it very well with our communities and neighbors, so maybe
Mm.
people should practice more right now with AI.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, recently I've been studying AI ethics, and the interesting thing is that there are a lot of bias, especially, for example, like whoever trains the AI bring their own bias, and AI, since everybody use it, is a automation, and this bias will amplify it. So, for example, like before, I heard one of the aspect, which is um whatever problem in this world, currently our physical world we have in the digital world, it will amplify it. And especially, for example, like a lot of people are anonymous, right? Those will make, for example, like a bully even more serious, or like some. It's like whatever we have any problem or we have anything good in our real world, it will all amplify it inside the virtual world. So yeah, so I find out this is very interesting. And especially today, I just read the news that Sora, right? Sora is great for a lot of people that you just text and prompt, for a lot of creators, you don't need to spend a lot of money and you can have a realistic video. However, they said that it's very hard. There are a lot of, for example, like a bad video, make fun of people or something inappropriate, and it will make people like think about like, is this true or false? Is this a false information? Because they start using people already dead, right? And also like some create a lot of videos that seems real, but actually it's not. And they also said that even Sora has a little icon trying to do the, just to tell you this is made out of Sora. But a lot of website right now has the removal watermark for Sora. So it's really hard to tell what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong. So critical thinking, and also just like you mentioned that in this digital world, um, think better, think critically is is a very important skill to have in this world right now. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I like to go back to something that I really learned. One of our community members, Robin Way Owen, talks a lot about visual thinking strategy. And this is something that we use a lot in the museum, and especially at Horizon Art Museum. Is just by asking three questions, and sometimes this can really help. It levels the playing field, and one can do this not just for art, but even what they see in front of them in their city streets. So simply asking yourself, what is it that I see here? What can I learn from what I see? Or, oh no, the second question is, what do I see? Wait, the first one is, what do I see here? The second one is, what what do I see that tells me that? Right? And the second is, what more can I find here?
Oh,
And those three questions can really help you learn how to share what you see and what it is that makes you think that, right?
mm,
So I see um, a game policeman who is shaking the people in the street or
mm,
threatening them,
yeah.
and you can say, I what do I see that tells me that? Well, I see that they put their hands on them and they're using uh, uh, tear gas in the game, and it's red, and I can see that, right? And then
Mm,
what more can I see here? And you can say, oh, but somebody is giving them flowers. And
mm,
so what I see are some of those policemen stopping and creating a garden and changing, right? So having those questions can help you dissect what's happening in the scene, what's
mm,
happening in the painting, what's happening in the world, what's happening in your city,
wow.
and be able to say like, "Hey, what's going on in the Sora video? Oh my gosh, is my friend really being arrested for graffiti? Oh my gosh. Oh no, that's not true. What I see here is that my friend actually is about to sing a song with that person, right?
Mm,
And that now they're dancing, right? So somehow or another, you can use your critical thinking skills with visual thinking strategies, and that can help you decide if what you see is the truth or truthiness.
Mm. Wow, wow. I think that this is like a very useful techniques because I learned from I remember the best version of like a so far I heard like a um it's Elon Musk's first principle is that everything down to the basics. If something doesn't make it's like he mentioned that when we think we like to use our previous experience because it's quicker, right? But if everything down to the first principle, like something that's so basic that is a universal truth, yeah, and we can start using that, so we won't get interrupted or bothered by our previous experience. Because to be honest with you, it's very interesting and it's also a mature way of doing thinking. So I really like this way. So every time when there's a different voice, for example, like Sora. Like I watch a lot of like videos, right? Like just like for relaxing. And some videos I find is that this true or not. It's like it looks real, but I had a lot of questions like this is too much. It's like some a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah, and later on, yeah, I think every time when I go back down to the, first principles, I can just like you said that does this make sense or does this make sense according to the logic? Then yeah, or Google it or go back to the original source. And yeah, so I think that this is also help us to while the tools are so useful, but it's also training us what to think and what to believe. Yeah.
Yes, and sometimes it's just really hard and really unclear. There was a couple of years ago in the MIT museum was redesigned, and one of their exhibits had it was a television,
Mm.
and you could see Nixon, and he was talking about like that the moon landing had failed.
Oh,
And unless you knew that it hadn't failed, you wouldn't have necessarily known, right? So
oh,
context, um, and a lot
yeah.
lot of thinking skills. How can one um really be sure
Yeah.
when they're in a sort of a um, like a bubble, right?
Yeah.
So it's really important to I believe that this is a great time to try to bridge those divides. Watch news that isn't your regular news station.
Mm,
Click on things that you might not have. Talk to your neighbors.
mm.
Uh, learn new perspectives and slow
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, I do believe that this is the way to grow because, for example, like when I swipe my thread or X or Facebook, it's all according to your algorithm, right? So, the more you swipe, the more the software understand you, and the more similar stuff that you will get in, it becomes very isolated. It's very hard to learn from other people's perspective. For example, like before I saw hey, VR is everywhere, right? Because I've been working in this field for a very long time and everybody around me are experts. And so I feel like, wow, this is so natural to turn things into XR and everybody, it feels like people around me knows how to do things. So I assume things is the way that I live. But when I jump into education, it's just like, wow, everybody think differently from me. And I was like, this is interesting. It's just like another perspective being provided. Because, for example, like professors told me that, hey, XR is not accessible. I was like, what? I've been using it every day. It's not accessible. So I start thinking about, yeah, it's like, for example, we just had a AI summit. I remember on the stage, I invite a lot of industry experts and we talk a lot of XR, AI, and at the end, we have a Q&A and faculty was asking, hey, my student doesn't have a computer. They don't have Wi-Fi. And I was like, wow, we were talking a lot about the thing that is living in our bubble, XR people, right? And then Ellie, the audience was asking like they couldn't even access to the device. And I can tell you, last year when I was teaching, first time I teach in community college, and one of my students asked me, show me his PC, and it's a smashed screen, and you can see RGB was shiny. And he asked me, can I still use this for this class? And I was like, you probably need to get another new one. And he said that, oh, I don't have money to buy it. Maybe, and I said, maybe get a loan from, from the school and see if there's any way to get you a computer. So this is the thing. It's interesting that we think that AGI is coming in like in a year or something, in a couple of months. But the reality is that the digital divide is very wild. So that's why I find out it's very intriguing that you share the Meta Horizon world. For example, first, it's accessible for a different device. Second, it's so easy to text prompt. But whatever you can describe, you can make a world. I think this is a very appealing, and also no code because you can drag and drop, or you can text prompt for the interaction. I find out maybe this is accessibility.
This is as close to accessibility. I think Rec Room also did really well because one could access it via like Xbox, right? And also like a mobile device. Uh Roblox, super accessible. Now all of this is assuming that one has Wi-Fi. We can't solve everything, but there's like Starlink, and there's different like mobile hotspots that you can
Yeah.
connect to, or like different kinds of, like, you can go to an internet cafe. I mean, literally, I think about the Girls in Africa VR, run by Diana and Jerry,
Mm.
in Kenya, and some of these young girls in their community live in very remote spaces, and they get picked up and brought to a learning center and work on with headsets, and and it's incredible. So, VR is dissolving barriers and creative technology and these amazing desktop tools. But I agree. There are swaths of students that do not have access to Wi-Fi and have economic barriers, as well as maybe in remote spaces or on indigenous reservations, or in schools with districts that don't support immersive or creative technologies, and so there is a massive divide. I think that this generation has a responsibility to, sharing is caring. So any opportunity we have to be able to share these technologies, I think that those are important things to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned that you see like people in Kenya, right, and not really have a lot of technology support and access, and also you are also XR woman, one of the director. So can you share with us how can we empower women in the spatial AI or XR AI area? Make people feel safe. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Well, I like to say that there's many ways to empower women with AI and immersive technology. one of the greatest things about these tools is that it does dissolve isolation and feelings of powerlessness. It is an empowerment tool, whether you are a world builder, a community builder, an event builder, just welcoming attitude builder, right? There is a place for you, your voice, your community, your entity, your business. There's a place for you within virtual worlds. XR Women is an organization that I'm really dedicated to. I am not a founder. I'm like a leadership committee member and the director of the XR Women Museum.
Mm.
It was founded in 2020.
Mm.
I want to say 20 or 21
Mm.
by Karen Alexander,
Oh,
Julie
Karen,
Smith,
yeah.
and
Karen,
Sophia
we just
Muchacha.
met few days ago, and yeah,
Oh,
like yeah, we were preparing a panel for our
oh,
interview.
fantastic. That's so great. That's so great. Um, uh, and why I joined this organization is because I believe it's an empowerment group. We have student chapters, we have members from over 60 countries that gather. We have weekly events. We're close to our 300th weekly event,
Wow,
and it's almost our 5th year anniversary.
wow.
And right now, XR Women Museum is in the Frame platform. The museum was founded by Gemma Lambert. Gemma created a museum to honor the speakers at
Oh, wow.
XR Women. And I recently took it over and have turned it into like a contemporary art museum.
Wow.
So right now we have our first exhibit under my leadership called She Who Codes Herself AI and the Aesthetics of Becoming. And
Mm.
we have 7 exhibiting artists who have work in this museum. And the creators live globally, and each adds a perspective of how they are using AI
Mm.
to explore their sense of becoming their best human selves.
Mm. Wow. So, you mentioned that everybody share different perspectives. Do you mean that share their own story, or how can you, for example, like add your story inside the you mentioned frame, right? Like yeah, I try frame. I remember the one the event that I joined was the Web XR Poly, like the award. Yeah, so they use frame. So I was using frame. And I find out it's very good because, for example, it's a Web XR, right? You just have a link. You don't have to download an app, so I find out those like a 2D was very good. And using headset, I use a headset every day for development. But for development it's more like I put on a headset and try that feature and I put it down. But for joining an event, I need to wear it for more than 40 minutes. And my brain was not good for getting it too long. So usually, yeah.
Sure, of course. So I have actually not joined Frame via my VR headset.
Yeah, I
I
usually use
usually
the 2D one.
Yes, I usually use it through PC, and I just started sharing my screen into
What's the pros and cons between Frame and Meta Horizon World? What do you think?
let's see. Oh, it just cut out. Let me see if Oop, I think it needs to reload. I have Horizon still open, so it might not appreciate my multitasking right at this moment. I will. I'm going to close Horizon while I share with you the pros and cons. Let me see. Am I still here?
Mm.
I feel like I disappeared also.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think you are disappear, but
I did disappear. Help. Thank you for your patience.
no worries.
I am coming back. Hello.
Well,
Crazy computer. Well, I'm going to close frame and come back to you
yeah.
and see. Am I here? Where's my camera? Oh no, I'm sorry, Dominique.
No worries, no worries. I mean, this is like the live one, and at least we can prove this podcast is a human because we make mistake. AI generate podcast won't have this, so this must be human.
Yeah. I don't know. It just like killed my camera and now frame is not here.
Yeah.
So stuff like this. You know that you're a great creative technology when everything breaks, right?
I mean, it's normal. I would say a lot of people that might find out that, for example, like I have students, if something happen or if there's a bug in Unity, they freak out. And I said it's really normal for your stuff to crash or for your stuff to have bugs. It's normal. It's part of life. It's, for example, the one that I launched, I published a game. Um, on SideQuest. Yeah, so I mean, I turned Edgar Allan Poe's poem The Raven into an 11-minute VR experience, and it took me 9 times to detach my file to my pretty much my Unity file crashed 9 times, so I need to redo it again. So yeah, it took me probably 9 to 10 months to build that experience. So I would say debugging is 90% of the our job. It's
Yes.
normal. It's normal.
It is. It is. And it teaches you really how to like have grit for like the world.
Neurons, like
Right?
resilience. It's not about like because interestingly, a lot of education topics or like at if you see education in curriculum, it's asking students to perform perfect, right? So if you submit an assignment, right, you need to get an A, right? Or like you have a lot of pressure. But I think for coding is very different, or for developing, or for creator, it's the other way. It's more like the process. And if you fail, you get up again and keep building it. It's not like um, you didn't look perfect and you fail. It's not like that. Yeah. So, for example, like my students told me that, oh, they just don't really know how to code. And they just, because for my class, I have two A and B track. So, for example, for B1, it's like very simple. And I told students that if this time, you don't really understand, it's fine. Just keep working on it. Maybe after 5, 10 years, you will get good at it. Like program, this course is short, but your life is long, right? If you are not perform well in this class, it's fine. You just keep building it. One day you will be good.
That's right. You're just failing forward.
Yeah. Wow,
See,
I like that giant person.
oh, well, wonderful. Let's go take a look. This is the lobby area um of of our of our museum. And this is our first area of our exhibit. On the
Wow.
walls, we have work from Dr. Arena Ray Koo.
Oh,
She's
wow.
based in Romania. She created these images that surround us using AI. And she normally works with like major brands using AI with fashion. And she created this body of work as her first real exploration in sort of her fine artist identity. And she used AI to really transform herself by letting go of what no longer serves her in many aspects. We also see a sculpture here dancing and celebrating life. The sculpture is called Choice by the artist LM Designs 8. And this work, it's just celebratory. I kind of like to do like I can move my avatar. Here, I'll use emojis and I can dance,
Oh, wow.
sort of dance along with her.
Wow, you can do that.
Lights, emotes. Here, dance.
Oh, this is cool. This is very cool.
So there's a couple different dance effects that one can use. Um, so that's kind of fun, right?
Mm,
As we go into, the hallway, we have some 2 works by Teresa Santos, who uses sort of like pop culture,
mm,
right, to explore who she is, and claim aspects of her identity. Um, we we're really always in a state of, rediscovering ourselves. And we see at first in this gallery more work by LM Designs 8,
mm,
the high heel, the high kicking avatar, and the healing dome are all works by LM8. And she really created this collection. It's called Hat for Healing Art Technologies
mm.
as a way to um, celebrate her sovereignty of creativity, right? So
Mm.
as she expresses herself and her perspectives, it not only heals herself but the community around her.
Wow. So, those art gallery is more featuring female artists for their, for example, photography or film or like some 3D art creation and make it a virtual museum.
That's correct, and some of these are click through. So this is Maze Runner by Dulce Begra, who created, I'm not sure if you can see Maze Runner open in the same link, but I'm able to click through and then play her game. Um, and then this is a click through, to a video by the artist Adriana Krakowskiewicz. Um, and then we have this work dolls. These are dolls that are able to actually be painted in other software platforms,
Oh.
and maybe that can actually be scripted here. So one of the differences between Horizon and Frame is like the ability to have scripted events, for instance, or player persistent variables or leaderboards. None of those things happen here um, in Frame.
Wow.
But there are other wonderful aspects.
Mm.
This is an installation created by the artist Sarah Tink Mapelli,
Mm.
and she created these pink warriors and this what I like to call it as a like a multi-dimensional kinetic
Mm.
artwork orb that is sort of creating here.
Mm.
So this is this is join us. We also meet. We have like an event hall area here where we have members share their story here on the stage. Uh, we have different partners, chapters, and allies that are highlighted here as well. But we're platform agnostic. We are, if we're not here on Frame, then we're in Engage or Horizon or other platforms. And if one wants to learn more and where we would be each week, they need only to go to our website, xrwomenmuseum.com, and sign up. Each week you'll receive an email uh, letting you know what platform we'll be meeting on. We also have a little bit of a permanent collection that we've started.
Wow.
We have a work from Trish Giannakis as well as Juliana Lowe.
Oh, yeah. I know Juliana Lowe. Yeah, she is great. I remember she paints, right? She paints.
That's right. She's a painter and a tilt brush artist.
Yeah.
And here are two stills from
Oh,
her recent paint works in tilt brush that she created.
mm, yeah.
Really
This
beautiful.
Yeah, I think that is amazing because sometimes, in real world, it's very hard to see or have a collection that collect all the women's doing some great work together. And it's, for example, like if this is in other place, I live in Bay Area. If this is other than Bay, I couldn't really travel there. It's very hard for me unless there's a reason. So I think by hosting on Frame or like a more like the website or more like a metaverse place, then it really accessible. It becomes accessible, and you can definitely make it very imaginary. For example, you can have oversized person dance. Imagine this is like the real world, then it might cost a lot budget and somebody has to watch it, right? So I think
That's
by
correct.
by doing all this, it really helps us to just enjoy and just to learn from other women around the world and see their work. Yeah.
100%. In fact, our capacity here, we can easily have 70 people right here in the
Wow.
space. And we, like just last week, had a museum tour where
Oh.
some of the artists were able to join us and were able to talk about their work to the members that were there. So we think a lot about accessibility. Here we're able, let's say, for instance, you can just click on a um uh, like a museum label and be able to zoom right in and read it. I'm unable to do that in a museum. Often I have to squint or the type isn't large enough or whatever. So here, you know, I I don't have as many fun, things that I can do here,
Hmm.
as Horizon Worlds. Like, for instance,
Mm.
I still have gravity or other
Oh.
things, but ultimately, I find that the satisfaction comes through interacting with other people in these virtual spaces, right?
Yeah.
And being able to have the conversations, connection, and sense of presence together.
Mm. So you can also use because it's web XR, so you can also open a browser in the Quest headset or any other headset and join through more like a through the headset.
That's correct. That's correct.
Wow, wow, this is amazing. And for XR Woman, I remember because I live in, I joined one or two times in the past, a long time ago, like a few years ago. Yeah, I remember it was like a Wednesday, every Wednesday, like very early, like 8 a.m. or 6 a.m. my time. Like what's the current
That's correct. It is early on the West Coast, and I'm so sorry I can't seem to grab my camera again
oh,
near my
do you wanna
find my so I want to be a good host and be able to
okay.
be
No
back
worries.
here with you, but I'm unable to for some unknown reason. Um I Yeah, so XR Women starts at 8:45 AM if you are on the West Coast, or
Mm.
at 12 no, at 11:45 AM on the East Coast.
Oh, so they extend 45 minutes. So it's for the West Coast folks, they can a little bit awake.
A little bit awake, that's right. But the sun shines, and it should be glorious. It's a perfect way to start your day if you're on the West Coast.
Oh,
And
yeah.
let's say you're in Europe, then you're ending your day.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think it's very important for like a also you see like the time need to meet like almost everybody in different time zones since Exo Woman has so many women from different countries. So I think the time I think 8:45 I think maybe I will join and say hi to everybody.
We would love to have you. Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you so much for share all your work. I would love, maybe later I'll have a follow up email and introduce you to some of my, folks and see maybe there's a way that you can share your portfolio or share your work with my friends or some other faculties. Yeah.
Oh, I think that would be easy to do, and I would love to connect with your friends and faculty. When we take every moment as an opportunity for education, then we're really creating the framework for a strong future. And
Yeah.
we need that now more than ever.
Yeah,
We
I
Yeah.
think education is so important. Education is the base for almost everything. You see, like I find out that right now the politician or politics is focusing on war, right? The Department of Defense becomes the Department of War. But the essential of war, why it causes war, is because people don't understand each other. People don't empathize. People don't know each other. People not knowing other people's history, background, culture, right? And they just like block themselves and being very in their own bubble. So that's why they fight, right? And it escalates and becomes the nation fight, right? So I think by learning, be open minded, right? And do a lot of critical thinking and empathize others. Like you mentioned that using AI as a way to practice more critical thinking. It's really help us to make the world better and prevent a lot of war. War is costing money. You see, like right now we are getting out of it's interesting that we are trying to reduce our education and the Medicare in order to support war. So I feel like it should be a little bit the other way around. So we can solve it without even starting any war. That's my thought. Yeah.
There's no question about it. If we took all of, let's say, the weapons of war
Mm.
and melted them down and created public art,
Yeah, that would be awesome though.
wouldn't that be a great course correction?
Mm.
And for every idea, you know, okay, so I love hackathons. If every single day was a hackathon, I would be okay with that. Something about
Wow.
war is about like
Yeah.
destruction, taking things apart,
Yeah.
and having a hackathon about deconstructing things
Mm.
could be very valuable
Yeah.
because then you can learn how to put it back together.
Yeah.
However, war creates death, it
Yeah.
creates pain, it creates generations of trauma, it
Yeah.
creates famine, it creates hardships that are immeasurable for every human involved. No one can escape that. And
Yeah.
so it's clearly a direction um that I think humans have taken that misstep again and again through history, and here we go again, right? Bombing boats in the Caribbean and
I was
going
like,
into
why doing that? They are there, they are just let them be there. Why we are attacking other people? I just
right.
don't. I have no
Yes.
idea why.
So there's no logic making.
Yeah.
There's when one has a relationship with an abuser,
Mm.
and we have an abuser, several abusers
Yeah.
running our federal government, right? And so when an abuser is running a household or then they're you can't make sense of that behavior, right?
Mm.
Um it's it's damaged thinking
Yeah.
and any kind of like trying to rationalize
Mm.
that why they would do that
Yeah.
won't work because they're
Yeah.
like it's a sickness, right?
Yeah.
Um, like something else. So creating, I don't know how to dissolve hateful thinking and violence in any other way than the most artful ways, and
Yeah.
when I give these suggestions, people scoff at them, but I really, really believe that, like, if everyone stops and builds a garden together,
Yeah.
I really believe it could be as simple as creating a garden, having a hackathon and a
Yeah.
game jam together and eating, right? If you create a giant table and sit and eat together and make
Yeah.
some games, uh,
Yeah.
why
Maybe.
why can't that be enough for making a better
Yeah.
world?
Yeah, like, for example, like a Ukraine and Russian, maybe, just sit together and have a global or national hackathon, and whoever the team wins, they win the war. It would be great, though.
Or or that it's a mixed team, and so they learn how to problem solve together and
Yeah,
create solutions for
yeah,
simple things,
yeah.
right? And then
What
they
we
they
think.
see each other's value. "Oh my gosh, you were just able to code this, and you drew that, and I couldn't have done this without you," right?
Yeah, right.
And how
Yeah.
why isn't it just that simple?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, everything should be not that hard, and I just realized that maybe a lot of news and keep emphasizing like right now the direction becomes more like a it's the opposite of what I believe. So I think my thought is that maybe just keep doing what I'm doing. Maybe in the future the direction will change, right? And then we can we can do something that's more aligned with the value that we believe. Yeah.
I really believe it, Dominique. I think conversations like this do help dissolve misunderstanding and create empathy and um, like can create a great mutual respect and affinity for each other's what we care about and our causes. This is
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that the background you see like it's so beautiful, right? And that's you see like when people have war or trying to disagree with each other, maybe just go to your beautiful world and they will feel much better and forget about why they fight.
I hope so. I I think visiting the world is good, but I think that the elements that help like go beyond that are
Mm.
sort of like game elements. So once it's one thing to visit a beautiful coral world, but if you can help build it or remix it or put your voice into it or share your story or build a choral and add it
Ye
or get points for it and then get rewards,
mm,
then all of a sudden you're building ownership,
yeah.
uh, agency through ownership, right?
Mm,
Your voice becomes part of the necessary growth of a healthy reef.
mm,
And so participatory experiences inside of immersive worlds, I think, are critical. And going back to Horizon, why I think it's so strong is those game elements, those player persistent variables, the leaderboards, the social sharing tools. All
mm,
of these help to create not just a strong sense of belonging,
mhm,
but the impetus to see how you grow, that
mm.
your participation creates impact. And if it's
Yeah.
points or, like real coral growing, in earth, in the sea, or on the moon, uh, ultimately that's going to create a ripple that will create more care.
Yeah, yeah,
More
I do believe that, so it's very interesting that, for example, like, there are so many ways of making money, right? And if let's say we can create something, right? And focusing more on the impact. And then also, for example, in education, I know that um, education usually is the thing that, for example, like a community college, they are more like a nonprofit, right? And we got a lot of students from different level of social economy. So I find out that you see, like getting the job of teaching is not only that it's a job, but it's making an impact. And the interesting thing is that I find out that sometimes you can change a student's life. And it's interesting that I saw a couple of my students before they were working on, for example, like more like an illustration, more 2D. And after taking my class, they saw another opportunity and they do something uh, very close to 3D or maybe close to, for example, like one of my students before his path was doing, illustration, fine art. And later on, after taking my course, he is currently taking some architecture course. And I was like, wow, it's very interesting. And he's also taking some UX UI. So, yeah, so I can see like as an educator, we are all doing different things and shaping different people's life. That's what makes me feel inspiring and feel more like a meaningful. It's just like you can change someone's life in a young age.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Cool.
Better World Museum and Horizon Art Museum,
Mhm.
uh, have experienced that quite a bit, where our programs have changed the course of a young person or a woman's
Yeah.
life.
Mhm.
And as XR Women Museum is just sort of starting a new chapter, I
Mm.
hope that it is also a tool or a platform for facilitating um, infinite growth from our members and our participants. I
Wow.
could only hope hope that some people change their lives
Yeah.
for the better because of the things that they experience, and that the wonderful things that they are already involved with help me grow to be a better person as well, so that it's a
Yeah.
breathing, living exchange.
Yeah, I do think that throughout my life, it's interesting that you see, like, I just recently read some psychology theories. We start from self-centered, right? Like a baby, right? Everything is self-centered and become learning to expand our comfort zone to become more border, right? And I think starting from the time that I jump into education, I started realize that, wow, it's a little bit very, very different world than what I used to operate. So I'm still learning, exploring, and learning the other way, the other party's view. So I think that this is also interesting way, like for example, metaverse in the digital world, you can access to people from all over the world uh, in an imaginary world. It's also open our mind to listen to other people's voice. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, and what's the one thing that you still like to share that we haven't touched on yet?
Oh, that's such a great question. I just honestly, I just have such deep appreciation for the generation of creative technologists who came before us, who laid the foundation for us
Yeah.
to be able to create, explore, and expand. I feel tremendous gratitude for the partners that I have at XR Women, at Coral Collective, at XR, um, like our whole XR community is so strong.
Mm,
I'm just have a lot of gratitude to live and be able to use these tools.
mm.
So,
Wow.
I love them. Keep creating more AI creator tools because I love to use them, share them, and, more opportunities to educate, people how to use them. We can make a better world, and these tools
Mm.
are great companions for doing it.
Wow, that is so inspiring. I mean, for me, I think, yeah, recently I'm listening to like a audiobook about the history of AI, and I started realize that, wow, like since like a around like a World War Second or World War First, the first computer from Alan Turing was invented, and it was not even trying to be the AI. It was more like solving the mathematic problem, and it was using in the war or a lot of interesting usage that is not really used currently. So I started realize, just like you said, that well, when we see our computer, we take it for granted, right? Like, and now when I listening to a lot of like history of like, for example, AI, artificial intelligence, the history of that, and I started realize that wow, we really need to appreciate those genius. They come up with something from nothing. So that's why yeah, I have computer use. Cool. Also,
Oh.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm curious if you're going to edit this talk before sharing it, and if so, maybe I could like refresh my computer and see if I can hop in and you can see me again. I just feel bad that I disappeared. I think
Oh,
when I
don't
went
worry
to
about it.
it hijacked my camera.
Yeah, yeah, I understand, but I do think that for me, content is more important than any fact. Of course, that we show up, our face is very important. But I think since we keep carry on the conversation, I think yeah, I think sometimes technology will happen, right? And
Yes.
we couldn't control everything. We want everything perfect, but sometimes we couldn't control everything. So, for example, like my podcast, the interesting thing is that I know a lot of people out there are trying to make the podcast a business and make it like a super professional and, like the um, professional equipment and a lot of like very high end stuff and trying to, doing some, add some ads and trying to make it a business. But for me, the interesting thing is that um, I think I think this is just part of my life, and I am not giving myself too much pressure of I have to achieve some certain way. I'm more like, oh, I meet people, I make friends, right? And then I publish the conversation and share with the world, right? Yeah. And so far, I think our episode is probably around 50, 60 episodes. And I personally just think that maybe let's try uh, what happened. Um, if I can keep doing it until the 100 episode and maybe next, 200 episode. I just think that sometimes we just keep building up, right? Yeah, and imperfect is great because I mean it's human made. I'm very,
It's a great
very,
example of failing forward and keeping it going.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
keep
Why,
it
why,
going.
why
This is
stop?
what we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, for me, I do think, for example, like when you see an email that has perfect grammar, everything was so polite, and we will said, oh, this is probably written by ChatGPT. But if you see something that has a lot of like wrong spelling, that 100% is human because AI won't make this mistakes.
Right.
So every time when my guest and usually said that, oh, this is not perfect, and I usually tell them that don't worry. So that is the proof, that evidence that it's it's alive, it's real human, and we got real problem. It's like
You
that.
have been so lovely to learn about and to have this discussion together, Dominique.
Thank you.
You're an incredible host, and I'm excited to be part of your podcast and encourage. I can't wait to hear your 100th or 200th one. These conversations do make a better world, and your contribution is meaningful, and I am grateful to be part of it. Thank
Mm.
you.
Thank you so much for joining our episode. Yeah, cool. So that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. We release episodes weekly. If you enjoyed this conversation, check out our other episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube. Support us by giving us a follow and 5-star rating, or subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Thank you and see you next time.